billion-dollar residential real estate project in Oahu. So we don't have to sell anything. We tell a story and people choose to buy it because it's the best. At the time I was also playing in a punk rock band, drums. 3,000 kids trying to push punk rockers. That energy, I thought, this is the top. So since that day, for me, everything has been like bonus rounds.
パンクロッカーから10億ドル稼ぐ男になれた生き方の哲学。それは目標がなくても人生は謳歌できるということ。
I don't know if I really believe in goals. A goal feels like an end point. I want to go through.
そして終着点の先へ進むには人を引きつける力が必要だと彼は言う。
Success is really on the shoulders of many other people or other people's great work or their successes. And so I just get to be the one to tell the story. So it's important to say that you've always got to look at who is there to create that and help you.
ハワイでトップクラスの不動産を扱う僕の友人マット。彼の常識破りな生き方から豊かさのヒントを探ります。
I've had conversations. I was talking to someone, a friend of mine that travels around the country, and they do a lot of motivational speaking and business speaking, and they were doing a presentation at their house, and they were talking about goals and setting goals for their team. And I asked if I could interject, and my comment was, I don't know if I really believe in goals, and never have. It sounds weird, but I think for me, a goal feels like an end point, and I want to run through it. You know, when you picture a goal, you picture a soccer ball, football, you kick it, and the goal stops. It stops. I want to go through. Keep going. But on the subject, a lot of people have asked me, we had this conversation the other day, how did you get to where you're going? And I never really thought of a path, but what I did do, oddly, and this came from my mother, I made sure that and it sounds corny, but that I loved what I was doing, because every day is your life, and you have to enjoy your life. And if you're enjoying your life and you're appreciating what you do, the rest will follow, right?
一般的に目標はゴールとして設定される。到達すれば達成。それが私たちの常識だ。しかし彼にとって目標は単なる通過点に過ぎない。目標に向かう自分を愛せているか、楽しめているか、感謝できているか。そのプロセスこそ豊かな未来を作る鍵。では、その思考に至った彼のプロセスとは。
I actually started out in honors chemical engineering at the University of Arizona. And interestingly, while I was good at math and I was good at science and calculus, I excelled in all that, and so that's what I should do, right? Because I'm good at it. But I realized I'm going to be 50 years old, and I'm going to be in a 20 by 20 sterile white laboratory making toothpaste for Procter & Gamble. Do I want to make toothpaste by myself in a lab as a chemical engineer? And that's when I walked out. I was like, no way. And at the time, I grew up playing drums and golf. And at the time, I was also playing in a punk rock band, drums. So I made no money. I played until my hands bled because I loved it. And I got so much out of it. And it gave so many people so much watching me play. That energy between the band and the people. So I knew that I loved people, loved being around people. It was so special, and that's why I did it. No money. And we were playing with opening for bands like Korn. This is when Korn's on their first tour, Deftones, Green Day. We opened for Fugazi, April 20th, 1994. When we were playing with Fugazi, there was about 3,000 people in the audience. And the energy of all these punk rock kids trying to get on stage, everyone pushing. And I'm in the corner playing drums. Now there's 3,000 kids trying to push punk rockers. That energy, I thought, this is it. This is the top. And I thought that was the peak of my life. I succeeded. I reached my goal. That day, for me, everything has been like bonus rounds. 30 years of my life, 31 years of my life, to me, has been bonus. Cannot fail, cannot lose. My father thought it was stupid. You're wasting your life playing drums. What are you doing? He never saw me play drums. He's alive now. He didn't see me play drums until 15 years later when I was in Hawaii and I was just sitting in with a band, and he happened to be there. And at the end of that show, the lights came on and he was standing in front of my drum set trying to get to me, and he was crying. And he apologized, and he couldn't believe that he missed watching me play drums in my prime, because He said, "You're the best drummer I've ever seen live."
損得感情のない純粋な熱狂。そしてその情熱は父との15年越しの和解という形で実を結んだ。彼はその熱量を音楽からゴルフへ、そしてビジネスへと見事に転換させた。過去の強烈な成功体験が今の彼に無限のエネルギーを与え続ける。彼の人生は今もあの夜から始まったボーナスラウンドの途中なのだ。The Human Code、情熱こそが人生のボーナスラウンドを動かす燃料。
Coming out of college, the band was breaking up, and I was going to go to LA and be a session drummer and do it for a living. But ultimately, I decided, because I was also playing a lot of golf, I shifted to the golf industry because I love golf and I love the people, and started a career in golf. Just like drums, when I started focusing on the golf, I didn't want to play on tour and travel because growing up with a single mom, we moved a lot, and I needed stability. But I wanted to be at a high level of golf, so I worked on my golf game as if I was playing on tour. So I probably got my handicap to about a +7, tour level handicap, and but that 15-year run of working through golf, I worked my way all the way up and had an opportunity. I was hired by a developer in Discovery Land Company to go to the Big Island of Hawaii to open up a new golf course called Kukio, which was, at the time, it still is probably one of the best places in the world. Very, very high-end luxury golf club and real estate development on the Big Island.
ゴルフへの情熱は結果として不動産業という彼の新しいキャリアにつながり、次々とチャンスをつかむことになる。しかし当初彼が感じたのは人生で初めての不快感だった。
And another opportunity presented itself, and through the family's business, one of the brokers that they were working with that had helped them sell one of their pre-construction high-rises, it's called Hokua, which many people have probably heard of. They were doing their next project, and he said, "Well, why don't you come help me sell?" And I said, "Well, I've never done that before." And he said, "Well, you're good with people. I can teach you the rest. You'll do okay." And so I did that, and I was miserable. I hated it. I didn't know why wasn't I playing golf or drums or doing stuff that I loved, and for the first time I wasn't really doing something that I thought I loved. Here's the thing, I think that human nature is, discomfort is part of human nature, and working is discomfort, but discomfort creates growth. Discomfort creates growth. We work out to build, right? My boss at the time, Carl Heyer, the one thing I remember him saying is he said, "Be an expert at something."And it reminded me of being an expert at drums or golf or whatever. And I started to realize that it was about the people again. And I started to enjoy the people. And that's how I started in real estate.
不動産業界では素人同然だったマット。しかし彼は成長のために不快感を選び、ドラムやゴルフで人々とつながったように、不動産業でも人と接する専門家として道を切り開き、10億ドル規模のプロジェクトを成功させる。
And I just moved to Oahu, a new place, and so over those first couple years, I started to get to know everyone. I would sit there on the slow days, and I would open up the condo docs and read them, or open up the condo map and learn about it. When they'd come in, I ended up being the person that would answer the questions, and the other older salespeople would say, "Oh, let's ask Matt." So the next project after that, the market in 2009 crashed, and coming out of there was another project coming called One Ala Moana.And because now I met a lot of these early investors and community members, the partnership gave me and my small team a chance to do the pre-sale. And I came up with an idea to meet with about 100 different people. So we did the pre-sale first, so it was at 103 units. I had 105 appointments and 103 people bought. So like 98, 99% close rate.And then when we launched publicly, it sold out in one day. So the whole project sold out in basically one shot. Myself and the team was given the opportunity to sell Park Lane Ala Moana, which was the first billion-dollar residential real estate project in Oahu. When I was doing the golf thing, our team, we have the opportunity to tell a story about the best product.So we don't have to sell anything. We tell a story and people choose to buy it because it's the best. So if you don't have Alana Kobayashi, BJ Kobayashi, Patrick Kobayashi, my brothers-in-laws, their father Bert and mom Susan, all these people, and then all the employees of Kobayashi Group, Black Sand Capital, ACK Construction, which was my father-in-law's former construction company. He sold those employees. Without that whole ecosystem, my success doesn't happen. I just get to be the one to tell the story. So it's important to say that you've always got to look at who is there to create that. Now, I want to make sure that I add this here. We talk about being successful and things like that, but a lot of times your success is really on the shoulders of many other people or other people's great work or their successes. So much of success really is, like they say, you need to surround yourself with good people, people that you trust, people that trust you, smarter people than you, people that love what they do. That's an important part of the recipe. They trust you. And that means finding, one of the things that I've learned through all of the mistakes and failures, which we all make, and that's how we learn, the discomforts, right, is I've learned to try to identify insecurity and try to stay away from that. Sometimes you can't fix that. You got to let people work on that on their own, because it can become a cancer in your organization, right? You want people that are comfortable with themselves, that want to win together, that aren't worried about credit or ego. It's all about just winning and doing your best, right? Park Lane now is a big success because of all those people.
10億ドル規模のビジネスは決して一人の天才によって成し遂げられるものではない。彼は自身の役割を物語を語るだけと謙遜するが、それこそが彼の最大の武器だ。周囲の人々を信頼し、感謝し、彼らの力を最大限に引き出す力。人を巻き込み、人に動いてもらうために、まず自分が誠実に動く。その積み重ねが10億ドルを動かした。
And when I arrived there for my interview, and this is probably a blessing, this is something you can work on, maybe you can, but I think I was blessed with this skill. When I arrived and had my interview, my last interview was with the president of the development for lunch, and he came around the corner, and I looked up at him and I said, Sam Ainsley, I met this gentleman when I was 10 years old, when my dad had come to visit Arizona and took me to a golf course, and I met this man. I hadn't seen him in almost 20 years. And he walked in and he said, I knew you'd remember me. And I got the job. The real currency is time. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. You can't make more of it. You're just gonna have whatever time you have. And all you have to do is decide what to do with the time that's given to you. But you only have so much of it. And once it passes, it's gone. So as you age, time becomes more precious. Thinking of that concept of 10, 15 years ago, how can I create more value with the time? How do I make it even more valuable? And I challenged myself to do something that I still do every day, try to do every day, and it's hard, it's still hard to do. And we think these are really good tools that free us up. These actually are the worst thing for that concept. This takes me away from you. So if I'm with somebody like this, I'm going to do everything I can to give you 100% of me in this moment. And I hope that you're doing the same. And if either one of us aren't, I try to find a way to move on if I can't be there, or if you can't move on, so we don't waste each other's time. So we get the max value out of our time. But what I noticed when I started doing that is the way people react to you. It starts almost as they're uncomfortable, like it's too much attention. But then the feedback and the relationship gets so much deeper. I know because of the energy I'm putting to you, whether it's the noise I'm making or the non-verbal communication or literally the energy that you feel for me, you won't forget me, ever. In 10 years, you'll go, it's Meta-san, I remember him. I sat with him in that hotel and we had a discussion and we were locked in. And that's powerful. That's well spent time. So think about this. You do that with everybody. I think you're building super valuable time, super valuable experiences that stack up. And imagine if you walk around and everyone remembers you and they go, I like that guy, or he's a good person, or he's paying attention, or he cares, right? Or we have a connection. That's wealth, and that's wealth, right? Alex knows me well. I'll say some outrageous things because that's what's on my mind and I want to share it with you, right?
誰もが平等に持つ時間という資源。 しかし彼はその有限性に対して圧倒的な当事者意識を持っている。目の前の相手に 100% の自分を捧げること。スマートフォンを置き、ノイズを遮断し、ただ今に全集中する。その覚悟が相手の記憶に永遠に刻まれる強烈な印象を残す。そして積み重なった深い関係こそが次のビジネスを、次の人生を動かしていく。The Human Code。今に全集中することが未来を作る。そして未来を作るもう一つの要素が健康だと彼は言う。
And now as a family, we're working on the next version of Park Lane, which will be called Park Lane Resort and Villas. It's not public yet. Next year we'll really start going, but we've been working on it for a long time. And maybe the next time we talk, I can show you more of that in a follow-up. But that's where we are in the real estate and where I am now. And then because of all the relationships, little opportunities come along, and then Alex being physically fit and into this stuff, and being me getting older and wanting to be healthier, we've kind of gotten involved with longevity businesses and wellness, and so that's another project that's just starting that hopefully we can share more about. So going into this next project, it could be a 4 to 5 year really intense run, or if I do a lot of great work this next year, maybe it sells out faster and maybe it's easier. But I didn't want to be a 52-year-old going into the project and come out with the health of a 75-year-old. And I think you're seeing I think there's a big shift happening with humans in general, in that in the past I don't think we really knew the answers to health or longevity. It was mysterious, and as science and all these things have improved, we start to realize, wait, there's a way that I can live longer and with a fulfilling life and a quality of life beyond just succumbing to the slow decline of our health that our parents and grandparents went through. Because when you're on the road like this, it's harder to maintain all your health protocols. Sleeping, you're entertaining, you might be drinking. Everything's out of whack, and it's half your life, for me, more than half my life on the road over the next 5 years. So this big push is really to maybe be the health of a 38-year-old or 40-year-old when I start the project, and I come out at the end, maybe my real age, or in terms of health. So this ties into, if I'm healthy, then I can live longer, and we have all the tools, live longer and enjoy more time with my kids or my grandkids after the work life, right? And then also, this all ties back into, what we do as a family and a company and a team over there in Hawaii, and building the best lifestyles. We're not just building homes, we're building lifestyles for folks. And if we can take an experience that I'm having, like what we've been doing with all the wellness and longevity, why would I not want to share that and bring that into our whole ecosystem as a development group in our business, which then the byproduct ends up being wealth, whether it's health, whether it's money, whether it's time with your family, all those things, right, add up. And if you can't have gratitude for that, you're never going to be happy, right?
私が思う人生を豊かにする5大要素は、仕事、お金、時間、健康、家族や仲間。面積が広ければ広いほど幸せになれる。そう私は思っていました。するとマットはそこに新しい要素を継承してくれました。それが感謝です。
Gratitude is fuel for happiness. Unless you have gratitude, I don't think you can achieve happiness. You have to understand where you came from. I'm grateful for my wife. When I was young, my parents divorced when I was young. I was 7 years old, and I didn't quickly learn to not believe in marriage or believe in that union. And my grandmother would always tell me that you have no control over that. It's going to happen. You have no control over that. This is obviously another long story, but it seems like it was just part of the story that was maybe already written. And from that, we have two lovely daughters. They're 16 and 13. And was really scared about having teenage daughters, and I heard all the stories, and so far they're lovely, and I'm grateful that that they're in my life, because I didn't have a dream of any of this, right? I didn't think that far ahead. And my wife, and this is a compliment to her intuitiveness in our family. About 5 or 6 months ago, my kids are, they're turning 16 and they're turning 13, and she said, you stay home, no more traveling for 5 or 6 months. And I was like, you're crazy. We got this huge project coming. I need to keep going. She's like, it'll be okay. Nothing's more important than your daughters knowing who you are, especially in this teenage time of their life. And she was right. The last 5 months was wonderful being around home along there. So she's a very strong woman. She's a very kind woman. She's also a mom. And so our daughters see that, and you can see how it affects them. And I'm very grateful for that, right? I'm in Japan right now. I came out here 13 years ago and have built up a network that helps support some of our projects and our sales. And so there's some sacrifices where I've missed a lot of things in their life. And that's the reminder, and that's why I'm a little bit emotional, because now I know more than ever what I've missed and what I'm missing when I do this, right? Like we talked about time, I'm not going to get that back. I want them to know how much I love them.
But what is something you want to leave that your daughters, like, they'll see this YouTube hopefully and they'll say, oh, Dad wanted to leave this one idea. What is something you want to leave to your kids and to their kids if they ever see this?
It's not fair. It's difficult. Well, be strong, be honest, and be real. And you can start with the loudest voice in your head. The loudest is usually the truth. I'm very grateful for that, right?
富を築き、名声を得た男が最終的にたどり着いた答え、それは驚くほどシンプルだった。健康やお金、家族との時間、あらゆる豊かさを手に入れたとしても、それに感謝できなければ決して幸せにはなれない。感謝することで幸せをかみしめることができる。感謝は幸せを生み出すエネルギーであり、燃料だ。そしてその感謝の対象はいつも自分の最も近くにいる人たち。The Human Code。感謝こそが真の幸せを生む燃料だ。そして最後に、マットから次世代へ継承したい言葉。
Well, if I'm the one to do this, then I don't want to fail. I want to be the best, and da 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 da. And sometimes that blinds me of some of the things that are most important, which are your family and your kids and things like that. So I would want my kids to know that sometimes I get blinded and I feel like I'm the only one that can do it, right? No one else can do it, so I have to do this. But I also see the way people react when we have success, and everyone's happy. But that's something that I try to balance and understand. I write down quotes when my friends say quotes, or when I hear something good. I keep a notebook of all the quotes, and it made me think of a quote. I tell this to my friend. It's more of a joke, but it's kind of funny. Do you know what's amazing? That I know I'm amazing.
目標ややるべきことに追われると、本当に大切なものを見失うことがある。毎日自分なりのバランスを見つけよう。自分の心を理解し、自分らしく生きる勇気を持とう。それがマットのヒューマンコード。The Human Code 300。私たちがナンバーズとしてゲストに迎える方に重視しているのは、結果としての成功ではなく、そこに至るまでの思考、哲学、意思決定の構造。今、この瞬間も何かに挑戦し続け、自らの意志で人生を切り開き、決断の背景にある思考や哲学を言語化できる人物。そして何より人生の豊かさを体現しているか。スポーツや趣味、家族や仲間、人生を現在進行形で楽しむ時間の使い方。私たちはそんな人と出会い、人生を楽しむ豊かさを感じ、その価値を共有したいと考えています。シンガポール、そして日本、豊かな人生を体現する300人を探す旅はまだ始まったばかり。番組の感想やご意見はコメント欄まで。Powered by Be Quick Fitness。